The pick is in.
The Detroit Lions have made a selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Alongside Locked On College Football host Spencer McLaughlin, I'm Tenitra Batiste, and we are joined by Matt Derry of Locked On Lions to break down the Lions selecting Terrion Arnold with the number 24 pick. So, Matt, I ask you this. Terrion was considered by many to be the best corner in this draft, maybe a 1A and a 1B with Quinyon Mitchell. How fortunate were the Lions to get him at 24?
Well, Tenitra, I think there's no question about it. The Lions looked up at 29 and said, we've got to move up to get this kid. It's only going to take 5 spots. Give up a 3rd-round pick to Dallas. You take Terrion Arnold before Green Bay can get him, right? Because the Packers need a corner in their division. So I think the Lions felt like, wait a minute, we're getting to 24 here. There's no way he's still there. Football character is what I've heard from some Lions people texting me tonight. They love his football character. You saw the interview he did with Stacey Dales at the Combine talking about his mother. Plus, he's a damn good football player. And the Lions needed another corner. They go out and get him, and they feel very good about it.
What do you feel is his best asset that he brings to the table for this Lions secondary?
Again, he fits the narrative of what the Lions are looking for at that spot. Good tackler, really good football player. Maybe not the speediest guy. I know Spencer will probably talk about that. But still, great ball skills, 5 interceptions last year, an All-American, and year 3 now in a row. The Lions have taken an Alabama player in the 1st round, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and now Terrion Arnold. So Nick Saban's gone, but his legacy lives on in Detroit.
Yeah, and it seems to be working for the Lions, no doubt. So when you look at him with so much that he brings to the table, as you just mentioned, what's maybe that one area where you want to see Terrion improve so that if necessary, he's ready for the Lions day one?
You know, I mentioned it before. I think the knock on him is that he's not running a 4.3 or 4.4 40, and maybe his makeup speed is not the best, but he comes into a situation right now where Carlton Davis, a veteran cornerback they picked up from the Bucs, is going to play a lot. Amik Robertson, who they picked up in free agency, is going to play a lot. And his former college teammate, Brian Branch, whom the Lions selected last year in the 2nd round, will also be there at the nickel spot. But Deshae Townsend said it tonight, the Lions secondary coach, moments ago. This kid's a cornerback. We're putting him at corner. I know there's talk he could play safety. No, we want him out there on the outside. And until Emmanuel Mosley comes back from injury, and a lot of times you play 3 corners, and you know, maybe Robertson doesn't play some – you're taking a kid at 24 to play, and they feel like he just fits the mold of what the Lions and Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, are looking for.
Indeed. And you think back to that NFC Championship game, and you like the fact that the Lions are saying, hey, we know it's round 1, and we know that we need to get after it on defense so that we can be competitive and maybe take that next step. So it looks like they're going with that with Terrion Arnold coming in at that 24th pick. For more on the Lions, subscribe to Locked On Lions on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. So, Spencer, Matt thought you might call it out, so I'm just going to start right there as far as Terrion Arnold, maybe that one knock on him being the speed factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to jump off the page the way it does with Quinyon Mitchell. It's not his identifiable characteristic that makes him a bona fide 1st-round draft pick, but what he lacks in speed, he makes up for in timing and ball skills. You know, you look at the lineup of defensive backs that Nick Saban has put into the NFL. I don't know if Terrion Arnold is going to be the next Pat Surtain or Minkah Fitzpatrick or anybody like that. But do I expect him to be a starting caliber player? I do. I think that he's just too well coached. You know, that's what he looks like. He looks like a guy who is really well coached, a very instinctual player, great timing and anticipation on the back end. So doesn't have, I don't think he's quite got the ceiling of what a Quinyon Mitchell does coming out of Toledo, which is a crazy thing to say, but that's just the way that the chips have fallen here. But I do think that this is a pick that makes a lot of sense for a Lions team that needs help in the secondary, and I think that Terrion Arnold can come in and give you that.
For continuing coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft, subscribe to Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.